Hi, my name is Tanya and I help people raise their levels of awareness, redefine and expand their sense of self, and also tap into their limitless possibilities as real human beings, which in turn helps them to optimize their life experience. You can find more about my education, qualifications, both experiential and theoretical life experiences and interests in the description box below this video. But as I announced yesterday, this is going to be day one of the whole 78 days of short course in reality transurfing. Why I put short in the same sentence with 78 days, it's because for this purpose I'm going to be using so-called destiny cards, which were created in 2009 by Vadim Zeland, who is the author of Reality Transurfing. I'm going to be showing you those cards. So these are the cards, 78 cards, and each day we're gonna be focusing only on one card and describing one card and looking into its meaning and how to implement it in everyday life. Anyway, before I start officially, I'm going to quote one of my favorite poets of all time, Rainer Maria Rilke, which says, "I don't ever want to be folded anywhere, because where I'm folded, there I'm a lie." So what does that mean? It means that I don't want to blindly follow any school of thought or any kind of concept. And thank God I really got to experience a lot of different concepts in my life and school of thoughts, starting from scientific ones, through psychology ones, and through spiritual ones as well. So that helped me actually to discern what is important, what is not, what is essential, what is not, what is actually similar to all these theories and practices, and what actually limits and confines us into defining ourselves as less than. Having said that, this also goes for transurfing, so I'm not kind of, solidly following transurfing now, but I did want to give it credit, and I did want to focus my time on that reality concept, because it actually says the same. It's very broad and open kind of minded in a sense, and even Vadim Zeland said reality transurfing is also some sort of concept which is actually by definition limiting. However, it is a positive concept. It is a positive way of looking at things and of seeing how things actually are. And in order to then use this concept for the sake of ever expanding. As I personally believe, a human being is a process, not merely a state. So in order to always evolve as a soul and as a process, we have to be able to detach from any type of theory or practice and always stay flowing and in the process of becoming. Anyway, so before I start with today's card, by the way, these cards are actually following the structure of tarot cards, even if they're not meant for divination or, kind of predicting anyone's future. But on the other hand, they're meant to actually follow and explain basic principles of transurfing. So there are 22 major arcana cards which are used to explain major reality transurfing concepts, and there are 56 minor kind of cards, which are then more specific concepts like soul, reason, inner and outer intention that can then help us navigate through reality. So this is about cards, but as I said, before I do the first card, before I talk about the first card today, I'm gonna explain more specifically what a reality transurfing stands behind. So, reality transurfing is quantum physics based set of methods or principles that is talking about how it's very important to combine spirituality and science, and how one doesn't go well without the other. Also, it talks about the world as only a reflection of a giant mirror, which we actually, so everything we see and experience in the world is actually a mirror of this more subtle yet much more powerful aspect of ourselves and of our world, which is purely metaphysical. And so if we combine the two, and if we align our perception by being aware both within and without ourselves of what is happening, we can actually combine the two worlds, and then we can help create the life that we actually desire and that our soul is inclined to live. Because if we only focus on the physical aspects of the world, which is only one side of the mirror, we will be confined by it, and we won't actually use this limitless resource we have on the other side of the mirror, which is metaphysical, and which in transurfing is called a space of variance. And it states that literally every type of script and life scenario is possible then if we tap into that side of the mirror. Then we can see like, okay, you know, this is influencing actually my world. This is influencing my practical everyday reality. And if I'm aware of that, then I can be awakened in this, for this part of me that is actually serving me quite much better. Good analogy is when we dream. So when we dream, we're usually not aware that we're dreaming. So we're kind of passive participants in a dream. And we can't do much to change that dream. However, when we wake up from a dream, we realize, oh my God, I'm dreaming. So then we start to get a power to actually influence our dream and to change that dream and the outcomes of that dream. Vadim Zeland talks about the same being applied to a physical reality. So physical reality is almost also like a dream, and we're kind of also passively participating and trying to struggle our way through conditioning and a lot of different things that we were kind of bombarded from ever since the birth onward. And we're trying to cope while at the same time being not awakened to this more subtle and metaphysical part of ourselves, which, if we were awakened to it, would help us to actually claim that power back to ourselves and allow our scenario of our life to go in a completely different direction, or in a direction of our metaphysical nature and preference. These would be kind of the key points of reality transurfing. Basically, what it means is when we actually unify reason with the heart, or metaphysical aspects of ourselves with physical aspects of ourselves, we can see that actually physical stems from metaphysical, and that by changing one, we can actually influence the other. And the last example I'm gonna give before finally doing the card of the day is I'm gonna talk about an example of pointing the finger at the mirror, at your mirror at home. And what do you see in the mirror? You see the same finger pointed at you. The same is you. So that means how actually we can then see how this is actually working, how this mirror effect is actually influencing us. Therefore, it is very important to tap into this space variance instead of pointing up in the mirror and blaming the mirror for your state of chosen variance within the metaphysical realm. And then, you know, when you combine the two and when you become aware of both inner and outer reflection of the inner state, then you can really start liberating yourself and becoming more free to actually mold your world to your own preference. And having said that, this would be the first card in the major arcana. So there are 22, as I said, there are 22 major arcana cards, and they talk about some basic principles of transurfing. First card is the awakening card, and it looks like this. So there is a woman who is obviously having wings, which means she's liberating herself from the confinement of being a caterpillar and enjoying her newfound freedom, which is found in awakening. And I'm going to be reading just from the small booklet that explains those cards, actually by Vadim Zeland. I'm going to be reading the meaning of the card. So it says, wake up, here and now. This is all a dream and people are dreaming. You woke up in a dream, which means you got conscious. And now you have the power to create your reality. Your advantages in being aware of that. Feel your power. It is always there if you're aware of it. From now on, all is going to be how you want it to be. Your world takes care of you. So what is the meaning of this card? This card means to be aware of both your inner and outer circumstances in your everyday life, which means that you can be almost some sort of a neutral observer or awakened within the dream, and just kind of neutrally observe what's happening to you from the inside and on the outside, and which is the way that you're gonna keep this awareness going, and which in the long run will help you to then switch over this script to the more preferable one. And each day we're going to be explaining a new card. However, the knowledge of the previous cards will actually stay with you, of course, and you can integrate that knowledge for later use. Thank you again for watching and your attention, and also like, share and subscribe if you find those videos interesting and valuable for you and your life. Thanks again, and see you tomorrow for the new video. Thank you. Goodbye.